Hey everyone, welcome to the VHS Bandits. This is episode 12. This week we're talking about Camp Nowhere. Let's pop in the tape.
He's smart.
Dennis Wozniak, Binary Pines Computer Camp.
He's tough.
Dad was right, Major Savage. I am scum.
He's slim.
Diets don't work. Chocolate cake works.
He's weird. He's a camp counselor who's about to give these kids the greatest summer vacation any kid ever had.
He's my role model.
Let's sweat!
It's brilliant. It's deranged.
It's funny, rates the New York Times.
Dennis, what happened?
Complimentary hot wax.
Get ready for sheer high spirits, says the LA Daily News.
Don't worry, Mom.
Lightness. We won't be playing with Castor Sparklers.
And New York Newsday calls it tailor-made for Christopher Lloyd's campy comedy style.
Thank you very much.
It's the wildest, wackiest,
We're not complete morons. There's a little bit.
most outrageous comedy of the year.
Let the games begin.
Camp Nowhere.
Way cool.
Now available on video. Rated PG.
And now, our feature presentation.
Hey again everybody, welcome to episode number 12 of the VHS Bandits. I am the KevBot. With me as always is...
Dane Train.
Dane Train. And...
Topher Hansen.
All right, Topher Hansen.
That's too short. People can't understand you.
Topher Hansen.
There you go. I understood that clearly. Yeah.
Awesome. So what's up, guys?
Watching Camp Nowhere. It is
Yeah.
90s Day. We took the Wayback Machine, and we're drinking Surge, and we watched Camp Nowhere. It's super 90s today.
Yeah,
Every day is 90 Day on VHS Bandits.
especially
forgot
when
mine.
you're in your 90s.
I forgot
Those
my
old ladies that walked into the
Yeah.
house randomly while we were watching Camp Nowhere. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. We want to shout out to a couple
Oh, yeah, we
places
do.
real quick. Not that they'll ever hear this, but maybe they will. First off, we want to shout out to Coast City Comics in Portland, Maine, who supplied the Surge to us. I was there a couple weeks ago, and they also...
Supplied as in you paid for it.
I paid for it, yes. Hey, they had the supply, and I bought it.
Do you know what I bought there? Do you guys remember when we talked about, what was that? Bimbo Movie Bash?
Oh,
Oh,
God.
yeah.
We tried to watch it, but
Yeah.
we couldn't. So
Couldn't
I
watch
bought
it 'cause
I
it was
bought
terrible.
that tape from there as well. So
Oh, wow.
there
You got your money back.
I get a sweet Bill Murray shirt. It was cool comic store if you're ever in the area. But speaking of stores in that area, I think we just
Yes,
talked
separately.
separately to this place called Strange Maine in Portland, where we got some excellent tapes.
huge selection of rare stuff that you don't find at like Savers and yard sales.
Yeah,
So.
stuff that we'll definitely get to at some point. There's no shortage of VHS tapes.
Yeah, because I think all the stuff around, just because population-wise, that there's all the like good stuff's been taken from Savers and wherever
Yeah.
here, but Maine has a less there's less people in Maine, so I
Maybe
think
there's just
they-
a bigger VHS supply.
It could be.
maybe,
Yeah, I
but
don't
I
know.
feel like they just haven't been grabbed up yet.
Possibly.
So they have
yeah.
like way better tapes than
Because there
we do here.
there were a lot of places that at least I went into
Yeah.
that had VHS tapes.
Right.
Like,
Everywhere in downtown Maine sells VHS tapes. Even if it's like Starbucks, they'll sell you VHS tapes.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So shout out to them. Thanks, guys. Hope you listen to this.
Bull Moose is a good store.
Oh yeah, Bull
In
Moose
Maine,
is pretty
too.
good
They have
too.
a lot of
I
cool
don't know
shit.
if I went into that one.
It's like there's a few of them around. But if you're in Maine, go to Bull Moose and buy some shit.
Yeah,
It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. So yeah, we watched Camp Nowhere. It's pretty awesome. We got some McDonald's as well.
We are.
This is a breakfast episode, but I'm the only one that got breakfast.
Well, they serve breakfast
yeah.
anytime, and they also serve regular food anytime.
It's September,
So,
and
yeah.
we're just getting out of the summer season here, but we wanted to get one more summer movie under our belts.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Well, because we were talking about this one last time, because it's the
Quintessential 90s summer movie for 1994
right, correct.
that you've only seen probably once.
now we all saw this in the theater, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
know
yeah.
did, right?
I know I
you
I
go
think I
with
did,
me?
but I don't know about that. But I know I've like rented it a couple times too.
Okay.
I remember watching it on TV a couple times. I definitely rented it. I like this movie. It's a good movie.
Holds up very well.
The funny thing is that
It's funnier now because I understand.
Oh, yeah.
what's happening.
I only saw this movie in the theater one time, and I remember watching it, and I just couldn't wrap my head around a lot of it. So I was like, I don't even understand why they're
It's a very complex plot.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
And now that
a lot
watch
goes
it,
on.
I didn't understand the whole thing of trying to ruse all the parents into different camps. I don't know why. I mean, as a kid, I just didn't wrap my head around it. And now I watch it now, I'm like, wow, this movie's great.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and talk about the box. Dane Train's got the box in his hands.
Lloyd is being crucified by
he's-
children.
He's on a.
He's not. I wouldn't say crucified, but he's definitely being sacrificed.
Cross, I mean.
They're about to burn him at the
Yeah,
stake.
he's
Yeah.
like a witch, So you got-
I like it says funny.
funny.
That's the
The
review.
New York Times just
Funny.
said the movie's funny. So there's like a sign that
Movie.
says Camp Nowhere, and Christopher Lloyd is in the middle, and he's all tied up with rope, and 4 of the main characters' heads are just popping out of some bushes in the back. And
It reminds me of Bushwhacked.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
It does.
Kids behind the bushes and the
Daniel Stern's like
Daniel Stern is
hanging off of
hanging
a
in the
We're
front.
talking about
rope.
that one of these days.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I got that
That's a good
recently.
one.
On the back, some more great reviews is sheer high spirits, says the Los Angeles Daily Times, and fulfills every summer camp veteran's dream, says the Los Angeles Times.
to kidnap children and take money from their parents.
Yeah. This movie's PG-13. No, just PG. We might have thought it might have been PG-13. There's a couple of no-no words.
They
but-
say "goddamn" a couple
yeah,
times.
Yeah, one kid swears a lot
Yeah.
in one scene. It's awesome.
It's 96 minutes, color, hi-fi stereo, digitally remastered.
It looked pretty good.
Yeah, the quality of this tape was pretty good. So on the back, we got Christopher Lloyd, like, holding a big trout, and there's a kid on a bike going off of a ramp into the pond, and a couple of kids on like, some ski-doos, like, woo, we're water jet skiing, and it's fun. So the back says, get ready to laugh when big screen funny man Christopher Lloyd of Back to the Future and the Addams Family lights up the screen with the hilarious one-man cast of characters in this
What?
rip-roaring comedy hit.
I was like, "There's thousands of people in this cast."
Lloyd
He's the
stars-
only one who had multiple personalities.
Right?
So.
Yeah. He does the Ernest thing where he like switches into different characters.
Yeah.
Lloyd stars as an out-of-work actor lassoed into service by a group of thrill-seeking teens. They're out to create the summer camp of Big Dreams, a place with no parents, no counselors, and no rules.
Woo!
Lloyd's
Nowhere.
off-the-wall nuttiness in his funniest role yet. It's nonstop laughs at the wackiest summer camp ever. Don't miss Camp Nowhere, the outrageous funny comedy hit, sure to drive you wild.
Funny comedy. hit.
Wild.
Yeah.
Nowhere. Nowhere.
Camp Nowhere. And then the tape itself, like, for the most
broken.
part, was pretty brand new, but I got it in the mail. I bought this off of eBay for stupid low cheap. And
Stupid low cheap. Like how much?
I think I got like, I think it was like $2.
$2.
like
Nice.
that.
How much for
That's
shipping?
that's a deal.
Oh, no, I think the shipping was like $2, but the tape was like, I think I bought it for like, I think it was like 58 or 59. I'm serious, like it was real
Wow.
low.
How's
it was
this
one of
thing
real low
making
cheap.
money?
a lot of these, a lot of tapes like these, I find like the starting bid is maybe 50 cents or 15
And then Beauty and the
cents.
Beast is $10,000.
Yeah, oh, yeah, right. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, exactly.
So like I'd win the bid for like nothing, but you pay for the shipping, so the shipping's maybe $2.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So in the shipping, the tape got a little bit damaged in the corner and on the side, but it didn't affect the playing of the tape itself. So the tape itself was fine.
Yeah. Tape played really well.
There's a big,
Good job, tape.
There's a big
Buena Vista.
pill-shaped oval on the top left of the tape where it says Camp Nowhere, and it says recommend this comedy to friends.
Hey, friends.
So before you pop this into the tape, make sure to pop it in your noggin to recommend Camp Nowhere to your friends.
all of our friends out there, listen, watch Camp Nowhere.
Or if you enjoy the show Friends, then you'll enjoy
that too.
this movie. Has nothing to do with it, but still.
So, guys, Camp Nowhere. What is this movie about?
Camp Nowhere is great. It's let's see.
Thanks for telling us what this movie's about.
Yeah.
And we're done. Goodbye,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys. Thank you. No, we're not done yet.
It's about a
But thank
cheese
you.
salesman that kidnaps children for $3,000 and then puts them in a camp
Keeps them in a camp all summer.
and then
Which is weird because
tries to have sex with some doctor lady.
no camp that I've ever heard of has been like more than like a week or two.
Right.
This is from so we start off and the kids are talking about like, oh, they each have to go to different summer camps. Like Mud, the main character, the main boy, is going to computer camp because he's so smart.
He's the only one's name who I can remember of all the different characters.
His name's
Because
Mud.
it's Mud.
Yeah.
His dad is played by
Ned Flanders.
Ned Flanders. Yep.
Like
Live
to a
action
T.
Ned Flanders.
Yep. Fake Rick Moranis.
Or if you went to Shrewsbury High School, Mr. Fine.
Yeah.
what's his name? Peter Scolari?
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. Again, Ned Flanders. So they're sending him to computer camp. The like super pretty blonde popular girl, she's going to acting camp. The rebel kind of dude is going to military camp, and the kind of plain Jane girl next door has to go to fat camp.
But she's not fat
she's
at
not.
all.
Doesn't need to lose weight
No.
whatsoever.
No,
Yeah.
she could gain a few pounds, if anything.
Plus, they're like
I wonder how many, like...
11, between 11 and 14.
Yeah.
Because the rebel kid was like, oh, I can get my license at 14 in Tijuana.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool.
I wonder how many, like, young girls this movie turned anorexic because they thought they were fat because this really skinny girl had to go to fat camp.
Yeah, seriously. It's weird.
She had terrible parents.
She
if
did.
You ask me.
Yeah.
Her mom's like, oh, you're so fat. And like when she visits on Parents' Day, I know I'm skipping ahead, but she's like, oh, you're so skinny now. Would you lose 10 pounds? I love you now that you're not a fat kid. But I can take you out in public.
But she didn't, like, visibly change
No, not
throughout
at
the
all.
movie. Yeah.
No.
It's weird.
And even Mud, when they were talking in like they were having a heart-to-heart, fat girl who's not fat and Mud were like in an empty bus for some reason, and they were talking and he's like, yeah, you're kind of fat. And he's trying to say it like nice. I don't know.
Pretty much all the kids are getting sent away for the entire summer to summer camp, and they don't want to go to the camps. And my theory is that the parents just don't want them around because they're all swingers and they're probably gonna.
They do live all on the same block.
Yeah, they do. It's all. So the four of them are like, well, what if we take the money and we rent somewhere and say we're at camp. We have our own camp, and that's where Christopher Lloyd comes in.
Yeah,
It's an ingenious idea.
The idea
is.
came about like really suddenly. Like usually there's a little bit more like preparation for these types of things in movies, but they're just like all like lying on the floor somewhere, and they're like, I don't want to go to camp. I don't want to go to camp. Hey, let's steal $3,000 and make our own camp.
Yeah, it was just so abrupt.
Can I just say that dynamic of their friendship is so weird because of they each represent kind of like a different stereotype.
right.
It's like
Like they wouldn't be friends in real life.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it could work in the movie.
And like the badass kid, like the jean jacket kid, for lack of a better term, the 14-year-old Tijuana guy. So like when he's at school, he has to pretend not to be friends with Mud.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense.
Because he's like,
but
too
they clearly
cool.
get off the bus like all together and all like
Yeah.
hey, wait
Walking
up,
down the
hey, you
street.
guys didn't wait for me.
And Mud like does his homework, and he pays Mud to do his homework, and Mud's like, it'll give you a C.
Yeah.
Why are you paying someone to give you a C?
It's crazy.
So then they decide to all make this camp. But where Christopher Lloyd comes in, he's a cheese salesman.
In the mall. He sells cheese whiz.
Super duper wacky.
Yeah.
That's where the fish head or whatever comes out of. He's like, oh, you can put spray cheese on fish. Blah. I think you said it best, Dane, when you're like, oh, he's just like Kramer.
Yeah.
He's just basically trying to be Kramer in this movie.
And so they're trying to they come up with the idea of like, hey, let's go make our own camp, but we need an adult. That's when they approach Christopher Lloyd.
Right, but
they go to his trailer.
How do
'cause he
they
lives in a
know
trailer.
that though? Because how Christopher Lloyd's introduced is Mud and his Ned Flanders' dad are walking through the mall, and Christopher Lloyd is like the pitch man for Cheese Whiz, so he's like the ShamWow
he's just
guy.
Hucking cheese.
Whiz. Yeah.
He's just hucking cheese in the mall. Just like, we got Gouda, we got cheddar, we got Swiss, we got spray.
Yeah, and then Mud just
Jerry.
watches him sell cheese, and then they're like, "Hey, I know this guy at the mall who sells cheese. Let's see if he wants to run."
Oh,
a camp."
Mud sees. I don't know why he's like fixed. Yeah, he's like fixated
yeah.
on him, and he finds out that he used to be the drama teacher at
At their high school,
at
or
their
something?
school or whatever. And that's when they find him and they go to his trailer because he lives in a trailer.
They never said why he stopped teaching drama at the school. I'm just assuming that he like touched some kids. And now he got fired.
Because he was so easy to pay off, which is what we'll eventually see in this movie. They approach his trailer and he's like denying who he is, and he pulls Mud in his trailer, which is not creepy at all because it's in an abandoned lot outside a factory. And then a repo man comes up, like the guy who you've seen in like millions of things. The only thing I can like really remember him in was The Jerk.
He was also in Men in White.
Men in White.
Nobody's seen that.
Don't watch it.
He was the guy who hates
On YouTube
cans
with Spanish
in
subtitles.
The Jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of stuff.
He is, but
I can never remember like what he's in.
Yeah,
He's
I
that
can't
kind of
either.
guy.
So he's trying to repossess Christopher Lloyd's yellow gremlin.
Yeah. His Caribbean yellow gremlin.
Right. So he's got to pretend, and this is where we first see his great acting chops.
Yep.
Puts in some fake teeth, acts like a hillbilly kind of guy, saying, "Oh, this guy you're looking for sold me this trailer but 2 weeks ago. I don't know nothing about no gremlin."
Who does?
Yeah.
It's got a sunroof.
So the kids are like, "This guy's perfect. We will give this guy $1,000 to like be the co-signer for the camp all summer."
Yeah, it's kind of like, what other movie did that?
It's $1,000 for like what 8 weeks, like 2.5 months of just
Yeah.
Something like
yeah,
Yeah.
easy $1,000, $1994 $1,000, mind you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a lot. And they only had 3,000 capital to begin with.
right.
But then they
3,000 each.
Well, they not to begin with, because this is before that they got the money
that's
from
right.
the other
That's right.
kids. So yeah, they make they basically blackmail him into doing this, because they're like, we're going to report you and your gremlin to this like repo man from
Yeah.
Bulldog Repo Company. If you don't do this, and he's like, I need my gremlin, so I'm gonna do this.
Got a weird fixation for his gremlin,
Yeah.
which you only made 5 payments on and missed the other 43.
So he
of
like
$121.
Wasn't selling enough cheese.
No.
so he
But
goes to
he had a steady teaching job for a while. Why couldn't
Yeah, but
he?
then he touched some kids. Got to sell some cheese at the mall.
Oh, I guess so.
I think he spent all the money on LSD because he constantly talks about how he was like this hippie in the '60s. So
Right, and
Yeah.
how like he's like had trouble popping pills.
Yeah, yeah.
There's like
so-
some references to him like dropping out and cutting loose.
yeah.
Being a wild man.
So he goes to all these different parents dressed up as different like camp representatives. So he dresses up like this military guy for the military camp.
Dresses up as also Ned Flanders for
Ned
the computer
Flanders.
He
camp.
looks exactly like his dad.
he
He's
looks-
just a mirror image of Mud's
Yeah,
dad.
that's
And
like
I
the
was
best part of the movie.
I was like confused. I thought like when he opened the door, I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Who's talking to who?"
Ned Flanders opened the door on Ned Flanders.
It's very paradoxical.
One of these is evil.
He dresses up like
Like a Richard
like a
Simmons
Richard
kind of
Simmons
guy.
for the fat camp.
And then like some fake general for the army camp.
He puts
which is
his hair in
a weird summer camp. Like I
Army
understand
camp?
acting, computer, and fat camp.
What's like military school?
Right, but
but for just the summer.
why wouldn't you just go to a military school?
Because then you have to be with your parents during the summertime instead of
Oh, okay.
school time.
Plot device.
And
let's
these
just go
parents
with it.
hate them.
That's right.
and
They don't want to
wanna
spend
be around their
any
children.
time. Yeah.
Like, there's
So-
even a parent who is all like, "Whoa, 8 weeks! Wow,
Yeah, like,
great!
well,
instead of
my
4
child's
weeks-
going to be gone for so long. This is great."
Imagine
More
all
key
the
parties
key.
for
Yeah,
me.
exactly. Imagine all the key parties.
All the random
We're gonna
dicks I
have
can
to-
have in my vagina.
We're gonna have to buy a new mattress. We're gonna wear this one out. So one kid catches on Mud's friend, who we see earlier on. He's like, "I know what you guys are doing."
Oh,
He pulls up this piece of paper
Walter,
and he's
yeah.
like, "Because of this piece of paper, I know that this camp that you're going to doesn't exist.
You're not going to
Right.
my computer camp. You're not going to leave me alone. Be the lone nerd.
I looked it up on my dial-up internet."
Which probably didn't even exist.
I
don't
checked
know.
the Linux database. I don't know, that sounds like something. It was just like a
database.
printed sheet,
kernel and
and he was like, "Oh,
Oh, did you hit yourself on a
I
Dr.
gotta-
Pepper?
I hit my headphones on the microphone. Sorry, guys.
I gotta get in on this fake camp." And Mud was like, "You can't tell anyone." But apparently he told
The redheaded girl.
the redheaded girl who's also in tons of stuff. So I gotta say, because I love this show, Boy Meets World. The cool jean jacket kid is in episodes
yeah.
of Boy Meets World.
Oh,
The redheaded girl is in Boy Meets World.
Whoa.
She was the one who was like Corey. Wants to go to a dance with someone else, and the redheaded girl's like the ugly girl. And then,
woof.
yeah, and he says yes to her by accident, and then they make her over, and she's super pretty. And then the cute blonde girl, she's also. I mean, they're in lots of other stuff. Like the jean jacket guy was
I think he's-
in 10 Things I Hate About You, and
Yeah. Was he in Hocus Pocus too?
they made a second Hocus Pocus.
No, I wish. Hocus Pocus TOO. Hocus Pocus
It's
also.
like Hocus Pocus 2. What are you talking about?
No.
He might have
Halloween
also
Town
been
3?
in. Yeah, he might have also been in Hocus Pocus. I
could
don't
be wrong,
remember.
but he kind of looks like Omri Katz.
Yeah.
but with longer hair.
So she's the one who tells everyone, and by everyone I mean like a group of like 10 or 12 other kids. We never get the exact count of how
ambiguous
many
number.
people.
Let's say a
Depending on the
good
scene.
baker's dozen.
Yeah.
At least.
Probably 12 to 20.
Yeah. Somewhere around.
Yeah, because in some scenes it seems like there's 50 kids, and then in other scenes
Like
where it's
6.
like there's one scene where it's raining out and everyone's bored and they're trapped inside, and it's like 10 kids. And It's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
what? That's it?
But then there's other montages where there's like 1,000 kids like painting the camp and
Yeah,
shooting
yeah,
super
how'd that
soakers
work?
and whatever. But who knows? Ambiguous amount of kids that don't have names and just show up for random jokes here and there.
Right. Exactly. Every lackey has a lackey too. I keep bringing up that thing. So like, cool jean jacket kid, he's got a lackey. Another guy, and then that kid has a lackey. So
Yeah, it's like Roger Klotz and those two like boneheads that
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
chums around with.
exactly.
Um,
So they all, pay the $3,000 to be gone for
Right.
the 8 weeks or whatever.
So Mud's got like a wad of like $50,000 cash that he keeps in his sock.
He might have $1 million. I don't know.
Macintosh.
Just because
He does use a Macintosh.
he does. Just because the amount of money they spend on useless crap
on everything.
is very, very similar to the montage. There's a lot of
Blank check-esque montages.
yeah, exactly.
Off of Blank Check, kind of like in a weird little side thing, there's some movie trailers at the beginning of this tape.
forgot to talk about
For,
trailers. Damn it.
Hollywood movie releases.
All starring Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, they all got Patrick Swayze, and one of them has the kid from
Blank check.
in it.
Yeah. It's like Getting Even with Dad, but is Patrick Swayze like...
He's like Elvis or something.
Yeah.
He's like
I
an
don't know. It's like...
criminal.
Yeah, he's a con man,
Yeah,
right?
con man.
Elvis con man.
Sorry, real quick, I'll go over those. We had Roommates, which was some weird thing where it's like some 90-year-old guy's roommates
Robert
with his
Falk or fuck.
Yeah, who knows? And then Fatherhood, two separate
Yeah.
words,
Patrick
which
Swayze
is that
movie.
Patrick Swayze, and then Disney's Tall Tale, which I thought was going to be the Matthew
Fightful?
Perry, Christopher Farley weird Western
it's
movie.
like
Almost Heroes.
Yeah,
it
Almost
looks,
Heroes.
it's a Western movie with Patrick Swayze, and it looks terrible.
And Oliver Platt.
Yeah, he was a tornado. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
because
all
he's
about Wild Tales.
yeah.
Tales of the West.
because Paul
Paul
Bunyan
Bunyan
is there. That's Oliver Platt and John Henry, and I forget Pecos Bill. It's the guy who could rope a tornado and ride it.
You're quite the aficionado on these
Of Tall Tales.
Oh, these tall tales. Yeah.
I just remember seeing the trailers. I used
What was that?
I used to have this video that I think I got from the library, which was narrated by Robin Williams. I remember, and it was the story of Pecos Bill.
No kidding.
So
Weird.
I remember-
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
that's
what's that
because I
cartoon?
stole the tape.
Feifel Goes West.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I remember that one.
Bible.
Completely unrelated. But
Anywho,
I
all
remember
right.
it.
So back to Camp Nowhere.
So all the kids' parents
give them
entrust
money.
Christopher Lloyd with their kids for the summer, and they get the money, and they
Cash.
rent out this like little
Dilapidated.
campsite,
Yeah.
which is like an old hippie hangout, which Christopher Lloyd's like, sex flashbacks.
I used to do lots of drugs around here, Marty.
He was like, I never did any of that stuff right here, and then he like took a couple sides and like winked at one of the girls, and it's like, oh
Yeah, it's really creepy.
I did lots of sex in this very spot.
Lots of.
we
I
had
did
to
lots of sex here, guys.
we had to generate 1.21 liters of lube.
Wow. Great Scott.
That's his O face.
Oh, great Scott.
Oh, speaking of Back to the Future, Biff's in this.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
He's the
He's the like county sheriff or something
Yeah,
like that,
he's
who's like
like
investigating
kind
about
of
this
kind of a dumb cop. So all the kids move in on a bus. They just like unpack, and they're just like, "Oh man, this is crazy. We have like we're gonna paint everything, which is already painted up all weird because it used to be a weird hippie commune. Jets fly over like once a day, which is weird.
Oh yeah,
that
'cause
comes
it's
into
like they're by a military base or something.
It's
Or-
probably right next to where the actual military camp is.
right.
could be.
Yeah.
But like they fly over once a day just so that he mentions it, and they fly over never again until like the military dad shows up to convince him that
Yeah.
it's military
That's
camp.
it. Yeah.
And that's the only time.
It seems like this camp would be really secluded.
Right.
But the police guy shows up because he's like, the neighbors have been complaining a lot about roaming gangs
fireworks.
of kids and fireworks. And it's just like, how far away are they from human? Like from humans.
civilization.
From civilization, yeah.
These
Because
kids
like
are all species.
yeah, in the montage is like obviously with the crazy, awesome, super guitar riffy music
Yeah.
that plays, it makes it seem like a bigger
nowhere.
thing. But you would figure the amount of noise that these kids are generating, cops would be called like every 5 minutes,
yeah.
Right.
And they would get shut down very quickly.
I think there's only one road in and one road out of Camp Nowhere.
Camp Nowhere could very easily be the title to a horror movie too.
It could be, yeah. Where are you going?
Yeah,
Nowhere.
And then like so the second act of the movie is kind of just a wish wash of like a bunch of stuff happening in the camp. Like
Yeah.
I don't remember like in order what happens.
Well,
but
like
I know
it kind of
things
kicks off
happen.
with the blank check-esque
Montage, yeah.
where the kids are like, "Oh, Mud's holding on to all this money. We all want our $3,000," and they spend it on all kinds of stuff. Which we should also talk about all the product placement in this
yeah,
movie,
yeah.
which is like crazy for the first half of this movie, and then they don't reference any other products in the second half.
Yeah.
It's amazing, but they're buying 61-inch TVs, and everyone's
Sony.
got Nerf guns.
They got like jet skis and boats. I mean, boats
Yeah.
are like,
Which is-
like $50,000. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, which is why
Maybe
they
they're
probably
leasing
have
them.
$1 million because obviously in Blank Check you saw what.
Oh, that's
what
true.
$1 million can
Yeah.
buy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he bought
exactly.
that. He bought that big mansion castle for cash. I mean,
Yeah, only $300,000. He
Mm-hmm.
still had $700,000 to become friends with a limo
He got
driver.
his limo driver and his big giant bucket of ice cream and.
Yep.
Yep. Anywho,
Falling in love with
But
the
so,
20-something-year-old
Yeah.
But
bank teller.
they can spend all this money on like jet skis and stuff, but they're like when it's raining out, they're complaining that they're so bored that they really like want to watch Baywatch.
Oh,
but
yeah,
can't,
they
like-
don't have cable.
Yeah,
or,
they bought a 61-inch TV, but didn't buy
Yeah,
a
that makes
VCR and
no
Baywatch
sense.
tapes.
And they
we
have
don't
a
wanna watch
Nintendo and a
ABC.
Super Nintendo. Like we
yeah.
see that because they're doing like this
Yeah.
computer hacky thing. It's like let's hook up our Apple to our NES and then
Yeah.
our Super Nintendo.
So they had stuff to do inside.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
Instead of playing-
Fucking kids.
But that's the excuse to get Christopher Lloyd back to help. So Christopher Lloyd was there just to like do the paperwork to rent the camp or whatever and steal the money from the parents, and then he was supposed to like split and do his own, like go back to his like trailer of despair.
No, he stayed in that one cabin. He's just like, just don't disturb me. I'm going to do drugs, listen to Winston Churchill records,
Yeah.
and sort jelly beans.
Jelly beans.
Yeah. So yeah,
Because I'm totally fucked up.
So Mud goes to the cabin he was staying at and says, I need your help. There's going to be a revolt because it's raining and we're bored. And then Christopher Lloyd is kind of like, fuck off, kid. But then he changes his mind for whatever reason.
Because he's an actor.
Oh, no, because Mud pays him $200.
Oh, yeah. Which is pretty much saying that Christopher Lloyd's character, and maybe Christopher Lloyd in general, I don't know, I haven't met him, will do anything for money.
Yeah, well, his character is definitely a whore.
Yeah. He was going to offer him $50 for something at one point, and Christopher Lloyd's like, you know what, I'll just do it for free. That's fine.
Really? I don't remember
I
that.
forgot what it was.
To take him to the doctor.
Oh, yeah.
He's like $50. He's like, God damn it, I'll just take you. Mud had to go to the doctor.
Yeah, so he's got a heart.
Yeah.
Um,
And there's constantly a play of Mud is Christopher Lloyd's son.
right.
Because he had to do that like when Biff came sniffing around, flashing his badge.
Right.
And when he went to the doctor, and then
Number of
Christopher
times.
Lloyd's hitting on the doctor.
Buying beer at the grocery store.
Yeah, that was the other kid. That was cool
Oh,
kid.
yeah. But he's everybody's dad.
Yeah.
Yep. Because he's a cool dad.
Because I'll buy beer for 14-year-old kids.
He was going to let a 14-year-old kid buy bear for him.
Right. Yeah.
Something like that. I
Because
don't
he has a
remember.
bum knee, and when you have a bum knee, you can't buy beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Then he, like, his excuse for buying the beer for the 14-year-old kid's like, oh, yeah, this beer is for me. Oh, I love beer. Breakfast of champions. I'm a drunk, so don't call the police.
Beer.
He just, like, goes on of, like, basically how he's, like, just a
Mega
like
alcoholic.
sloppy alcoholic, and like not to worry. This beer is for me. I'm just
I
gonna
let
drink
my
it
kid
and beat
buy
the
me
kid
beer
later.
all the time.
Let's see what else happens. So we mentioned the
What
doctor, and
else
he
happens?
goes.
So when it's raining, he gets. He's like, "Hey, you be like the counselor for the camp because
yeah. He keeps-
So he just like turns the rainy day into like mud wrestling for children, and like turns it into like these like semi-Olympic games,
Oh yeah, yeah.
which lasts like 2 seconds and doesn't look that fun anyway.
Yeah, who wants to get all
But then everyone's
covered in
like,
mud?
"Hey, we're happy now again," and they don't revolt.
They constantly want to turn on Mud too, because it's like
Oh, it's
if
so
Mud is like,
ridiculous.
I got to be kind of grown up about this because you guys are being dickheads. Then they're like, whoa, we're gonna report you. We're gonna tell our parents. And it's like, come on, guys,
Yeah, but
be
then you're
cool,
gonna get
guys,
in
be
trouble.
cool.
So finally, the dookie hits the fan, and all the parents want to come visit the camp. The problem is, they're all in Camp Nowhere. They're not in military, acting, fat, or computer camp. They're in Camp Nowhere. So what's to do? Guys, what's to do?
They decide to come up with the ultimate scheme, the ultimate trick to
Well,
trick all the parents.
Yeah, all the kids are like, "We're fucked," and so they're like complaining about how like the jig is up and all this, and Mud's trying to like get all their attention and be like, "Hey guys, I have an idea," and like Cool Kid is like, you know, basically saying, you know, it's over.
Game over, man. Game over.
And then Mud's like, "Shut up, Cool Kid. Let me talk." And then like his lackeys are like, "You're not going to take that from him, are you?"
You want me to pound them?
Yeah. You want me to give him a knuckle sandwich? Even though the like that has not really been an issue at all, like because they've been hanging out the entire time, and you haven't seen these lackeys at all, and like it's not really a problem.
Yeah,
But they're treated as such. As like it's such this big reveal that like, oh no, the Cool Kid's friends with Mud. What? Who cares?
that those characteristics of the characters are mostly to determine which camp they're going to,
Pretty much,
because everyone's just like equally friends except for the black kid and the redhead girl who's like the black kid's just kind of like, come on, baby, let's get together. And she's like, ew. That's pretty much it.
And yeah, so, and then Mud's like, let's make all Camp Nowhere into all these different camps. So they put on a ruse for this. They invite Parents' Day, or they make Parents' Day. So they invite all the kids' parents on the same day, but like change what the camp is. Like 12 o'clock, it'll be drama camp. 1:30, it'll be military camp. So on and so on and so on.
Within a big elaborate
another montage of them
setting
making
up
camps.
Yeah, so they're like painting it up and
Yeah. And what's the montage song is like, you gotta do it. You gotta paint the camp. Or it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
nowhere.
It's a pretty great montage song.
Yeah, the song has a great soundtrack.
Yeah, which apparently you can find on Spotify.
Yeah.
There's no official soundtrack, but you can still find it.
Because the soundtrack is Nowhere.
Christopher Lloyd's Bad Drug Trip was the soundtrack.
Yeah.
All the camps have great names too. Well, like the computer camp that they made up was called Camp Binary Pines.
Yeah, Binary Pines. It was like Forest Slim
Act Away Camp or something like that.
Yeah, it was a
Acting
pun
camp.
on Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah.
It was like Slim Away
Slim Away.
Camp. Or
Oh
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
I wonder if that was like an actual like their
Sleepaway Camp
Yeah.
reference? I think so.
Bless you.
Because the fat girl does have a penis at the end of the movie.
yeah, and murders everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
That was the big reveal of Camp Nowhere. Spoiler.
Christopher Lloyd was actually a girl who had a penis, so it made sense a little bit.
Yeah, so then they just they invite the parents. The first one is military camp. And it's only this one parent. It's only the dad of
Jean Jacket
Kid. Yeah, he's the only one that's apparently going to military camp.
Which the other, like his lackeys, like they should probably go to military camp too. Like I don't see them going to computer camp, acting camp, or fat camp.
I didn't even know they were in the camp until that one scene
I
where
agree.
They probably just showed up.
they're just like, "Hey, we're here to pound you, Mud, in the ass." And they were never seen before. Or
Most of the extra kids don't seem like they belong in any of them. Any of the other camps,
Well, there was
except
one fat
for
kid.
Walter. Oh yeah,
who belongs in fat camp.
And like during the fat camp scene,
Who didn't
they,
know how
like,
to
stuffed
spell
pillows
pizza?
in their shirts.
the fat kid didn't know how to spell pizza. I don't know.
He didn't?
No,
I remember that.
I don't remember that.
Come on, guys.
Sorry, I know that was a pivotal point in the movie. I tuned out.
That's when
You're busy eating your McDonald's.
I know. I was busy.
That's when we were
Breakfast burrito.
distracted by the
Dropping
old
Egg
lady
McMuffins on the
burglars
floor.
breaking in.
That's true. It could have been that.
Because that's when we also saw those other two lackey kids because they were making fun of him for not knowing how to spell, for being a fat kid. And Mud
Fat
was
kid
like,
doesn't know
hey,
how to spell."
knock it off. You're going to poke your eye out. And everyone was like, oh, you're being responsible. And that's when he ran off again. And that's when the...
Oh yeah, we haven't
Mud,
mentioned the
the fat
doctor
girl.
lady, really.
Oh yeah.
So-
Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd when Mud he burns himself with firecrackers.
Oh, yeah, for 4th
he's-
of July.
Yeah, because he's doing some jackass type stunt where he's on rollerblades and lighting
He had, like,
M80s
candles
on his helmet and
Yeah.
stuff, and then he burns himself. So that's when Christopher Lloyd takes him to the doctor, and that's where we meet Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, who practices medicine out of her porch, her 4-season porch. So I don't think she's a real doctor. And so basically Christopher Lloyd's just trying to fuck this woman the entire movie for whatever reason, because she's the only adult woman in the movie who's not a parent and
not skeezed out by Christopher Lloyd.
right. Yeah, even though he's
hasn't seen his-
Kind of
creepy to
intrigued
her.
by him.
She hasn't seen his trailer yet, so
Yeah, she's like, oh, this 75-year-old man wants to bang my red cooch, please. She's a redhead.
This
by
is
the way.
another movie where Christopher Lloyd is friends with a very, very young male
He's
counterpart.
got a pattern.
Yeah. But he's not a doctor in this one or a scientist.
Nope.
He could be, but he's not.
But he's an unemployed
He's
guy
a
who
cheese whiz salesman.
Cheese salesman.
Oh, man.
So
Yeah.
that was one of the instances where Christopher Lloyd pretends to be Mud's father, and
Right.
he and Mud have to go back for a follow up on Mud's firework burn, and Christopher Lloyd at one point invites her over for dinner, and they have to kind of
His raggedy cabin.
keep the ruse going. There's a funny scene where like Mud falls asleep on a beanbag chair or whatever, and Christopher Lloyd's like, "Oh, I'll go put him to bed," and he picks him up. He walks out a door, and it's just like the back deck, and he just drops him and closes the door and probably fucks the doctor.
Yeah.
Probably.
He's just like, get out of here.
Yeah, Mud wakes up and he's just like, what where am I?
But the thing is, like, everything that he says to this doctor is a lie.
Yeah.
And like at the end of the movie, like, there's, you know, I'm skipping ahead, but it doesn't matter. The like camp thing kind of falls apart, like the ruse falls apart, they get caught or whatever, and Mud is like, you know, having his like down and out moment.
No,
and,
she finds out about them before the camp gets busted.
When?
Oh, yeah.
She goes to his cabin again, and she goes with Mud, and she's like, "This isn't a real camp." Blah blah blah.
How does she know?
I don't. They never really explained it, or I just wasn't really paying
I have
attention.
a hunch.
But she just was like, "Oh, because they came in the door that was quote unquote Mud's room."
And it was a Porsche?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
And she was like, "This isn't even real. You know, you guys aren't related. And what the hell's going on with all these camps?" Oh, because she drove up during the daytime, and she saw all the
Why?
kids playing.
Oh, that's
I don't know.
I forgot.
Kids
I
are
remember seeing-
playing at this camp. It can't be a real camp.
No.
No, it's not. And she's just like,
camp
"I don't
has
like
no
what's going on
rules."
here." And they're both like, "Please don't say a word." And she's like, "All right,
Yeah, but so
okay."
my point was that Christopher Lloyd lied to her about basically everything, and at the end of the movie, she's still like his girlfriend now.
That is true.
Yeah, she's like not upset. I don't even know if Christopher Lloyd told her the truth, but like at the end
I'm
of the
actually
movie,
a cheese salesman.
yeah,
Yeah.
Quite a
They're-
fine cheese
They
salesman.
like ride off into the sunset with like an old 50s car that the cool kid like rebuilt magically. And she's like doesn't care that he's a cheese salesman who lives in a trailer.
Nope.
Nope. So that just goes to prove it, kids. Drop out of school, do a lot of drugs, be a cheese salesman, and you can still get the girl.
Well, because he's got himself a doctor now, so he doesn't have to worry.
yeah,
She's
she-
probably
true.
making six
That's true.
figures.
I don't think she's licensed, so she's probably just as skeezy as he is.
When you look like that, you probably don't need a real doctor license.
When you have a vagina
Sure.
and a decent face, you don't need
Yep.
a license.
Exactly. Listen, with a lab coat, you can walk into pretty much
This is
anything.
North America. That's how it works.
Exactly.
Even in Mexico?
Even in
Especially-
Mexico.
We're not the only country in North America. Canada, I get it. Okay.
Yeah. So the guy who hates cans meets up with Biff because they have questions, or they're looking for the gremlin.
Right. Oh, but there's also like the car chase too, kind of. After
Oh,
the
we
beer
forgot
scene,
about-
when they go
yeah.
out to buy beer.
Oh, yeah.
Then Biff is like in town in like
Because he's the only cop for most of the movie until the end when there's 90 other cops who show up at this camp.
and like Biff's like there's really no reason for Biff to be following Christopher Lloyd other than like I got some noise complaints and fireworks complaints.
Because they called the cops on the kid trying to buy the beer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like they try and like
And it just happens to be Biff
yeah.
because he's the only cop.
And like Christopher Lloyd's trying to lose him. They go to this car wash and it's weird.
Yeah, so
it's a weird
Christopher
sequence.
Lloyd like pretends so that's when they're both looking for the gremlin
Yeah.
or something like that. But Biff knows about the gremlin because I think this is when he was introduced to the gremlin because he sees them escape in the gremlin from the convenience store, right?
Yeah.
And then he follows
Correct.
it to a car wash and like the kids like take the gremlin and like park it somewhere, and like Christopher Lloyd pretends to work at the car wash.
Right.
And like he's like, "Hey, officer, I'll give you a free car wash." Oh,
And his pants get stuck in the car door, which Biff tries to open, and he's like, "No, stay in the car." He gets caught, and he goes through the
yeah. Instead of just being like, "Hey, let me get my pants out,"
Yeah.
he's just like, "I'm gonna stay in the car wash with you."
I'll tell you the whole process or something like
Yeah,
that.
he just narrates the car wash. He's like, "Oh, these are the sponges, and this is the 142-degree water, Biff." Oh. And he walks through the car wash and gets assaulted by the mechanisms of said car wash.
Get the hot wax.
Yep,
All over him.
he just looks like he's got.
He's
just
like a glazed donut.
He just got bukkakied from the car wash.
I'm sure he's used to it with all that free love.
Yeah, at the trailer.
Yeah. So
His hippie days.
Biff knows about the gremlin. So the Repo Man comes and finds Biff, because I don't know, somehow he puts two and two together.
Well, because the Repo Man's like, "Hey, officer, I'm looking for a 1974 Caribbean Yellow AMC Gremlin."
yeah, but how did
A picture of him, remember?
Oh yeah,
but how did he get to the town though? How did he figure out where the camp was?
I have no idea.
I think he was just driving down the road and he found the police officer sleeping on a park bench. And he's like, "Hey, officer, have you seen this guy? I'm looking for him in his gremlin."
Because the Repo Man like broke into Christopher Lloyd's trailer,
Oh, and then it proved that it was him.
and it proved that was
Yeah.
him because he had a
And he went to his Cheese Whiz store.
right. He's asking questions at the Cheese Whiz store,
Poking around.
snooping around.
Sniffing all the cheese.
Poking the holes in that Swiss.
He seemed to know a lot about cheese. He was
did.
very interested in
Yeah.
the fat content, the sodium levels, and I don't know.
He's a large man. He likes his
that's
cheese.
true.
Maybe he drinks a lot of wine.
He's a
connoisseur.
He's a canned cheese connoisseur.
Yeah.
A
A mall cheese connoisseur. Only the finest mall cheese, please.
So when he's in the trailer, he's like, to get proof that it's Christopher Lloyd, when he shows a picture to Biff and be like, "Have you seen this man?" And the picture is it's like from a coloring book of like a cowboy.
Yeah.
A Polaroid cutout of Christopher Lloyd's head, like taped on the cowboy.
It's like
It's like when you go
like
to
a
photo
carnival
booth,
cutout.
right?
Yeah, where like you stick your head through.
Is that what it was? I'm
think it
pretty
was
sure it
supposed
was
to
a
be.
coloring book page because I don't know.
Maybe it was supposed to be like that, but they just really
I don't know.
They didn't have the
It was
budget.
just some ridiculous picture, which I thought was great.
Where he looked like a cowboy.
Yeah.
So he's like, "What do you know about a 19 whatever bright yellow gremlin?" And he's like, "Boy, can I tell you?"
yeah. So they're like, "I'm looking for that too," and then they join forces. But
So
not
they-
really. Nothing really comes of it.
But the kids pull off the ruse of Parents' Day.
Yes.
And
They were
Mud's
this close
Yeah,
to getting away
so
with
close. Mud's parents are on their way out, and that's when the Repo Man comes in, and
But like, so let's go over the different ruses. So for like military camp, which is like the most
yeah.
elaborate one for one parent.
but they got to keep him in the one spot. They kept him
Yeah.
in a foxhole.
Yeah.
They
so,
went all out for this one. They strapped a VHS camera on a pole.
Yeah, they had CCV TV.
And wired that back to their home base.
And so like the military camp's like the first one. So military dad comes in and like then his kid like jumps in front of his Jeep and is like, "Ah!" And he almost runs his kid over. And then the kid's like,
Which he probably would have been fine with.
yeah, because he hates his kid. Like all the other parents in this movie. And then he's like, "We're under fire, Dad. Get down." And then like there's all these like they blast like gun sounds, just like
Yeah.
gunshots and stuff.
Home Alone type.
Yeah, like
trickery.
right.
It's a flour bag on a string.
Yeah.
They put little like
down.
pop things on the ground to look like bullets are hitting
Yeah,
the
they
ground.
put party
Yeah.
poppers on like
Yeah.
a big like
Set
in a
up by
row.
dominoes.
Yeah.
Right, somehow.
Not pizza, but actual dominoes.
And so they keep the military dad in the foxhole, and basically like assault him. And there's like a sign that says Saigon this way. So it's just like this military training. This dad's like getting shot at. So then they keep him in the foxhole, feed him sandwiches with dirt in it. And what's next, I think, is theater camp.
Yeah.
What, do you guys remember the name of the theater camp?
I don't.
Or the military camp? I don't know.
Nope.
It was funny. Whatever it is. Watch the movie. It's funny.
Yeah.
That's the point of what we're trying to say.
Yeah, this is the one where the like fat kid, they're doing like Streetcar Named Disaster, and the fat kid's like, "God damn it, Paula, I'll speak however I want to goddamn speak." and then they do Annie as well.
Yeah.
A complete 360. I don't know why they're putting on two plays.
And
but
they make it so like, oh, the parents are all late. Oh, that was the big thing, was like they tell the parents a certain time, and each time it's like, oh, you're late, so we can rush you out of here, and blah, blah, blah. So, like, the parents were all late to the Annie showing, so they had to go into the side, and they put up, like, mannequins and fake people in a fake crowd with a boombox that played Cheers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they caught the ending act, and then they were like, hey, you were great. All right, see ya. Like, all the parents were there for, like, 5 minutes.
right. And then computer camp was last.
Yeah.
Which was Mud's dad. And I think most kids were at computer camp because
Probably.
and theater camp. There's a lot of theater camp kids.
But they in computer camp they this is when they utilized the jets flying overhead because they hacked into whatever Air Force
yeah, so they hooked
database,
up,
and they're like
in like on one of the montages there was these like two twin girls that you never see again. They're playing
no,
like,
you see them a bunch.
Yeah, they're in the movie quite a bit.
all right.
Yeah.
Sorry. I closed my eyes and I never
Joe.
saw them again. But they're playing like some
just a
Nintendo
figment
game.
of your
and
imagination.
it's like some game where they're like just bombing the United States, and they're arguing over like, should we bomb Milwaukee or bomb like Salt Lake City?
That's earlier in the movie, though.
Right.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's the game that they use.
Yeah.
In
the summer camp simulation.
Right. So in the montage, they're like, let's bomb Grandma in Milwaukee. So they like play this game where you're like ISIS and you bomb the United States or whatever. And so during computer camp, they pretend that it's like a simulation, and that's the because parents don't know what Nintendo is. They hook up Nintendo to these computer monitors.
It's 1994. Why would you know what Nintendo is?
And then they just like play this like military bombing game, and that's when like the jets fly overhead, and that the only other time you see the jets is for that trick.
Pretty much. So everything goes off without a hitch, and as Mud's parents are leaving, that's when the Repo Man comes in. And he's like, I got a question for you. Have you seen this man? And they've got questions, so they go in and
there was Fat Camp too, which they just made the parents do like exercises and eat chocolate cake.
Yeah, pretty much. Who cares? No one cares about Fat Camp.
No one
likes Fat
No one
Camp.
likes fat kids.
Let's see. So when they go into the big hall, like they have all the props like hanging up and stuff's on ropes, and they all trip over the things, and Ned Flanders gets attacked by a bear.
I don't understand
on
why I don't, because everything went well, and then this happened, and I don't understand like why this happened, or
because they were going in and it was all, I don't know,
because their parents were leaving, and then all of a sudden they're
because the Repo Man came in and was like, have you seen this guy? And it's like, yeah, that's the camp director.
They were going to show. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they were going in, and everything comes tumbling down, all the props and stuff like that, and it crashes in on all the kids, and they're all toasting in the war room, I guess you could say, because it's got the map of the camp. And long story short, they're like, what the hell? And then Christopher Lloyd's like, I gotta get out of here because I don't want to get in.
I don't want my gremlin getting towed.
Yeah, exactly. And none of the parents pressed charges. Mud came clean and was like, listen, we spent all your money. We set up camp and it was awesome. And then all the kids stood beside him.
Yeah, no one wants their money back.
Yeah, which is weird. How do you think they got all that shit home? Like the TV and
the Repo Man.
Yeah,
the Repo Man took it.
But they spent the cash. So, like, that was someone's stuff. Unless they just left it there. And they go back to Camp Nowhere every year.
Maybe.
I don't know. And turns out Ned Flanders is kind of a cool dad. Reads
Because he bought
comic
his
books.
kid a comic book to show that he loves him. Because he's like, one of Mud's like complaints is like, my dad thinks I'm too smart to like comic books, but I can be stupid and read comic books. And then his dad buys him a comic book to show. He's like, it's the September issue. It's a good one.
There's also a nudie magazine.
Jupiter Squad, I think it was called.
And
So everything is fine and nobody's mad.
Everything works
And
out.
Christopher Lloyd gets the puss.
Everyone kind of does. The
Yeah, it's really
cool
gross.
jean
It's
jacket,
very uncomfortable.
dude.
There's a lot of like teen kissing in this, and it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Nobody wants to see that.
No, Mud and the fat girl, the pseudo fat girl, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
They make out.
Yeah,
Christopher
and-
Lloyd watches, and he's like, "What? I'm just proud of the boy."
Yeah, he's like jerking off in his car. It's like very.
Break up with Christopher Lloyd over that, Doctor.
It's like
Seriously.
a real kiss. It's not. They're not like
Not like a
tonguing
peck on
each
the
other's
cheek.
throat or
Right,
anything.
right.
Yeah, but it's like these like 12-year-olds making out, and it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I don't know why Disney would allow this.
I have no.
Well, it's Buena Vista, so
Yeah,
they're a little fast and loose with their sexual undertones.
This is a loose PG movie. Loose PG. So that's pretty much the movie. Everything works
That's
out.
Camp Nowhere.
That's Camp Nowhere.
Oh, and he gets to keep the gremlin in the end because
Summer's
Mud
over.
still had money left over somehow. Because again,
But he
it's
has a way
1994
nicer
money.
car that's unregistered.
Right.
But he keeps the shitty
But he could
gremlin.
keep the gremlin.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it all works out. The repo man gets to keep his perfect record because the car technically got paid off, and Biff was there. I don't.
Biff just goes away. He's
Yep.
just like, fuck it. I'm not doing
He goes
anything
back to
anymore.
sleep on a bench somewhere.
yeah.
Everyone gets some. Ned Flanders is kind of cool. That's it.
Worked out well.
Yep.
And then Walter, like his parents never show up, and he's just like
Walter
in the
doesn't
lake.
have parents.
Walter does not have parents.
Neither does the redhead.
Right. So they're just like skinny dipping in the lake at the end, which is very gross as well. not because it's 12-year-old skinny dipping, but because it's a lake, and who wants to swim in a lake?
Yeah, with snapping turtles.
Gross.
Oh, that slime on the bottom.
Gross.
Nasty.
And that's Camp Nowhere.
Yeah. It was a good watch.
It holds up, guys.
Yeah, it really does.
It does. So I think we kind of already talked about it. It came out in 94. It's an hour and 36 minutes, rated PG. So it was directed by Jonathan Prince, who also wrote Sweet Valley High TV show. You guys probably don't remember it.
Nope.
Pretty good. Ran a couple seasons. The guys who wrote it, Andrew Kurtzman and Elliot Wald, they were SNL writers for a while. They wrote Down Periscope.
Oh, no way.
cool.
Yep. And one of my favorite movies, which
Baby Legend of the Lost Secret?
no, not quite. Which is especially I want to watch right now is See No Evil, Hear No Evil.
What is that?
With,
Wait, with Kane?
No, with Gene Wilder and
That's just Zeno,
yeah, with Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder.
that
Where
movie.
Oh, that one.
yeah, they get into crazy hijinks because one is blind and one is deaf.
Whoa.
Yeah. So let's see, the main kid, Mud, played by Jonathan Jackson.
Got to get one in.
He's currently in what's that show? Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. But he was also in the Terminator TV show.
Wait, there was a Terminator TV show?
Yeah, it was not very.
It's
good.
like the Sarah Connor.
Oh,
Sarah Connor
that.
Chronicles.
Oh,
He played
yeah. I
Kyle
know.
Reese.
I never watched any of that.
know.
So,
And let's see. Oh, so we talked about there's just a shit ton of product placement, like very blatant product placement. So during the movie, I wrote down a list of a majority of the ones that we saw.
So pay us, Pringles.
Yes, please. So first we had Cherry Coke and Diet Cherry Coke, Pringles, Jif, Wonder Bread, Taco Bell,
Images.
Betty Crocker, Circuit City. They're certainly not going to pay us.
That really paid off for him.
Sony, Subway, Pop-Tarts, and Slim Jims.
There was
everything
a
a
lot.
growing kid needs.
Yep. And Not that it's paired with meatballs, but when I was on Amazon looking at the ratings and whatnot, there's a great 2-pack, Blu-ray 2-pack
Of meatballs in Camp Nowhere?
No, not meatballs.
Meatballs 4.
But this is paired with Ernest Goes to Camp.
Oh,
no
nice.
way. That's
Yeah.
Sweet.
Buy that.
That's a good
everybody.
camp duo.
Yeah,
Buy
absolutely.
that.
Is it
Absolutely.
DVD or Blu-ray?
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray? Wow, get
High
that.
quality.
Wow.
Blu-ray. I think is only like $7 or $8.
Wow. Well, if you guys don't want to go through the trouble of getting the tapes, then
That's
do
worth
that.
it.
I
That
mean,
is
you
worth
can
it.
you can get the tape for 57 cents plus shipping.
This
If
tape
you don't
is
want to ship 2 items to your house.
this tape is readily available on the interwebs if
Yes.
you can
Very-
find it.
very much
Or
so.
I would imagine you could probably find this one at Savers or whatever too.
Oh yeah.
So.
Actually,
We
I
couldn't. This one's hard to find.
I couldn't find it at Savers.
If we would have found it at Savers, we would have bought it
True.
at Savers.
That's
so
true.
you can't.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
you
sorry.
might find it in Maine somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably.
With that
I
said,
didn't think about
just
it when I was
try
there.
go up to Strange, Maine, up in Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
Or go
ask
on-
the guy who's writing stuff down.
Yeah,
in
write
a
stuff down on a
book.
pen and a piece of paper and a pencil, keeping track of his
You will
ledger.
pay
Camp
upwards of
Nowhere.
$5 per VHS. But,
Yeah,
but they have the
little-
good stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they got good
Yeah,
stuff over
absolutely.
there. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what would you guys rate the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are
rate
looking
the
at me,
movie.
so I'm gonna give it.
Summer's almost over. Rate it.
I'm gonna give
Hurry
it.
up.
I'm gonna give it 9 weeks of summer out of 10.
Oh,
That's good. I agree. Yeah, I think 9 out of 10 is pretty fair.
Yeah.
I like this movie a
I
lot.
think for the first time ever, we're all going to agree this movie's 9 weeks out of 10 summer weeks.
Nice.
All together, 9 out of 10.
So
Wow.
it's funny. It holds up.
Yeah.
Great soundtrack.
Great soundtrack.
The wardrobe is the most 90s
Oh, yeah.
I've ever
yeah.
seen.
It's more than the right connection. I mean, this
yes,
is this
absolutely.
movie is super 90s.
It is
Maybe
so
that's what
90s.
would have bumped it up just one more. Is if it.
If MC Hammer was in
MC
it.
Hammer were in it. That's
Jumpin'
okay.
Jack
though.
Flash.
That's okay.
He's
the
worth
soundtrack.
one whole week
No
of
way.
summer.
No way.
So
if they had a hip hop contest and he showed up. So let's see.
I'm surprised there wasn't a hip hop contest in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in the end credits, when they have like pictures of
He's, like, breakdancing.
all the kids rocking out, there's just like also random kids breakdancing.
Yeah.
It's weird, but whatever. So IMDb, the movie rating is a 5.9 out of 10.
come on,
fuck
that's
you.
lousy.
Yeah, seriously. Amazon, 4.5 out of 5 stars.
It's always-
that's
everything
good.
is a good rating.
Yeah, that's true. But apparently, I didn't confirm this, but I saw it on Wikipedia. Rotten Tomatoes is like a 12% rating,
Come
which is
on.
a crack of shit.
Rotten Tomatoes is so unreliable.
Yeah.
People need to. These people who are even watching this again. I mean, they're probably just like, I don't really remember liking it when I was a kid. I don't
Yeah,
really
what,
have a bad review.
what douchebags
You gotta-
go into Rotten Tomatoes and be like, fuck Camp Nowhere.
You gotta watch it like today and see what it is today, and you'll realize it's a 100%.
Right.
It's 100 tomatoes.
Like, if you're going to RottenTomatoes.com to decide whether or not you want to watch Camp Nowhere, go fuck yourself.
Seriously.
Who's perusing it, just being like, well, let's see what kind of summer camp movies they're rated here.
Well, Rotten Tomatoes gave Camp Nowhere 12 out of blah, 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 blah.
Then I'm not going to rent this from Blockbuster.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, speaking of, just a fun fact, guys. You know, anyone listening to this, unless you're from Worcester, you don't give a fuck, but the Chuck E. Cheese on like Route 20,
Yes.
where like Big Y used to be.
Yeah, yeah.
So like if you go down the side street, like to go to Lake Ave, I'm sorry, bro. The sign, there used to be a Blockbuster there, and the sign is still on.
Really?
So, you know, on the front, it's like you can still see like the outline of it, but the sign. So on
That's
the
with,
side,
like
it's still
every
there?
Blockbuster. Yeah, on the like where it used to says like Big Y this way, or Chuck E. Cheese and whatever. It's in like the block
man,
of like
that's
what's
awesome.
in that
We should-
plaza.
Well, like that Blockbuster space has been like open for lease for like 10 years now. You know what I mean?
It's not a minute clinic yet.
Yeah. Seriously, they're all turning into one.
They really are. There's one by where I used to live over, again, if you're in Worcester, over on West Boylston Street. It was like one
Yeah,
of the,
that's the one. Yeah.
the
Yep.
last ones, because when I moved into there, which I don't live now, so
I
don't try to
rented
figure out where I
Rosemary's
go.
Baby from there.
Like 4 years ago, it was open. Like
Yeah.
I remember them going out of
Yep.
business. and being like, oh, I could totally steal that sign. That's a big sign. That won't fit in my apartment. No, I could fit. Anyway, but yeah, I think now it's turning into
A minute clinic.
a mini clinic. Yeah,
Yeah, the
exactly.
one in Shrewsbury, that's a minute clinic.
That was the first
one
to go.
in
Yeah.
Westboro, though. Is that where Chipotle is now?
Oh, that is like a FedEx store or a sleep. Yeah,
Oh,
where
okay.
Chipotle is, which is a couple
Well,
stores
it was
down.
the one on the
but-
end. That's
It'll
where the
probably
Yes,
be
it was
a
on the end. I think
seasonal
it's a
Halloween
FedEx store.
store.
probably.
Yeah.
So
Anywho, speaking of
that's Camp Nowhere.
So, guys, summer's over. Get your long sleeves and you put away your sandals and your socks.
Get ready
and
for fucking Halloween,
Yeah,
guys.
Yep.
Get some pumpkin spice in your life.
I'm currently drinking a pumpkin spice $1 iced coffee from McDonald's.
The ice has melted. It looks gross.
It's really good. So get it. Oh, get one of those orange. Get one of those pumpkin pies. The 2 for $1. They're really good.
You know what? I just realized,
Don't
guys,
get an Egg McMuffin and drop it on the ground. And
still eat it.
I just had a revelation, and this might be something that we have to do from now on, just for our health's sake.
Not eat at where we eat.
No, I was gonna say we should keep going to McDonald's because Dane Train hasn't farted once.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
this
speaking of
podcast.
which.
That's good for
Speaking
all
of
of
which,
us.
Farting.
All right, so get this, guys, bandits out there. So last night we're all talking about all right, when are we going to hang out? When are we going to get together and watch this movie? So it's a holiday today, so we all had the day off, whatever. So we were like, all right, let's get together at 11 in the morning. And I said, hey, let's get some Taco Bell breakfast. But these two clowns were like, oh no, I can't destroy my bowels today.
Because
I
we
wanna
went
watch
to
the
Taco
movie
Bell
and not
yesterday,
Yeah.
through the movie.
and I was sick all day.
So yesterday, just real quick,
Let's close out the show.
yeah.
Just talk
Right.
about how
So this is-
terribly sick we get.
Podcast number 2.
we had KFC Taco Bell yesterday, and we watched this movie called Intercessor, another nightmare, rock and roll nightmare. It's a sequel to Rock and Roll Nightmare, if you've ever seen that, which is a pretty,
It's amazing.
good movie, and you should really see this Intercessor.
It's
movie.
only on DVD, so we can't review
You can't-
it.
yeah,
because
yeah.
it came out in 2005, but it looks like it came out in, I don't know.
Yeah.
like
late
2000
90s.
Or maybe you should
2000.
subscribe to our future podcast, DVD Bandits.
Yeah, right. Laser disc bandits. Yeah.
Beta Bandits.
Yeah. Oh, then you're going backwards at that point.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
But yeah, it costs like $7 on Amazon. Intercessor, a rock and roll
see if we
nightmare
can-
2. It's amazing.
I'll see if we can put a link on the page or something.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
we'll do that.
It's a great movie. You guys should
It's
see
so
it.
good.
If we could recommend something that's not DVD related to you on this show, there you have it.
VHS related.
I'm sorry. What did I say? DVD?
Yeah.
It
is a
sorry,
DVD.
I'm sorry. VHS related. Right. Okay.
All right.
I'm an idiot.
Watch those movies. Goodbye.
Anyway, thanks again for listening. We have been the VHS Bandits. I am the KevBot.
Dane Train.
Silver Hanson.
And as always, be kind and rewind.